Hi guys, it's Darren here, and I'm off out on a wild camp tonight, and it's only going to be a local one. It's about a mile's walk from my house, and it's in a little wood not far away on the outskirts of Corsham, where I live. And at present I'm heading towards the big estate house that's in Corsham. As you can see the entrance there, it's quite a large substantial building. I believe it used to belong to the Methuen family at one point. Who it belongs to now I don't know, even though I've lived here for about 12-13 years. The part of the town that I'm going to be walking through now, some of you may recognise it if you've ever watched the Podark series, which it was used. In the Podark series, which if you've ever watched it, it is based in Cornwall, but this is the town that they've used, which is nowhere near Cornwall, which you will see some of it in a moment. Well, that's the area that was used for Podark. If you ever watch the series, watch it again and keep an eye out. You will notice some of the buildings. Okay, you won't see all the modern implements there, but the structure's there. Now, I don't know if you can see all these hedges, but I wouldn't want to be the gardener that has to cut them. This is part of the estate house and the grounds around it. Well, that's the town that I live in. And now I'm just about to leave it, and I'm going to be heading towards the wood where I'm going to be camping tonight. So I will catch you shortly. Speak to you soon. Right, I'm not far away now. I'm about half a mile away from my destination, and then I'll be entering the field. But I've got to somehow climb over a gate with a 17-kilogram pack on my back, so that's going to be fun. Also tonight I have two bits of new kit that I'm going to try out. One is a frying pan and the other is a tent, and I will let you know what the tent is once I set it up. Most of you probably will recognise it when you see it. The wood you see ahead of you is where I'm heading to, so it's not far away now. I've just got to go around this corner and then, as I said, hop over a gate and across the field. I wander across a saturated field, and even waterproof boots on. I've got damp feet now. Luckily I've got a spare pair of socks in my bag. I've now just got to find a way in and find a nice flat spot to set up this new tent. So once I'm in there, I'll get back to you. Wow, looks like I found my spot right here. Nice and flat, no dead trees. So it's going to be a nice, quiet, safe spot to have a camping tonight. So let's get it set up, shall we? There you go, that's the tent I've purchased. It is the Wild Country Hound 1 Compact. I did talk about it in one of my previous videos, if you watched them, in which I did say that I was thinking about buying another tent. I wanted one that was slightly bigger than what my OEX Bobcat was, and this one does seem to fit that bill. But one issue I have found already with this tent, and it's just my personal preference, is the white lining. That is going to show up all the dirt. They decided to put a white lining in this tent. I do not have a clue. My OEX is orange, and I do have a Berghaus, which is a blackout, so white wouldn't be the option I would have chosen for a tent, but who knows, they must have had their reason. Apart from the colour of the lining and the inner part, I'm very pleased with this tent. This one's going to be an enjoyable night tonight, I think. I've got a little bit more space in there compared with the Bobcat, so I can get bits and pieces down the side of me without any issues. Time will tell. Now just a matter of setting up in there, getting my sleep mat in there and getting my sleeping bag in there and getting all ready for tonight. Well, in this tent I seem to have a bit more headroom than I did in the OEX Bobcat. I would say the vestibule area is a little bit smaller, but I have a lot more room in here. I've even got my backpack in here. Also, I would say, because the sides are quite square in here, I'm not going to have that element of being hit in the face by the inner lining on a windy day. So I would say, so far so good. Quite pleased with this purchase. Should last me for a little while. So I guess it's time for a cup of coffee. I think I need one now after that. I'm completely and utterly knackered. I had my coffee, I had a relax for half an hour, and now I am back to life. And looking in this tent as I lay here, I couldn't believe how big it is compared with the OEX Bobcat. I really seriously should have purchased one of these much sooner. Yes, the OEX Bobcat you can basically stick anywhere because of the size of the footprint, whereas this one I'm going to be limited when it comes to woodland camping in tight spaces. But it's a sacrifice I'm going to have to make because I'm very chuffed with the size of this tent, and also with the weight of it as well, because it's really light. It's about the same weight as a Bobcat. Also, I'm pleased with the price that I paid for it. I purchased it from eBay and it cost me £145 brand new. The chap that had it, because of ill health, he never got round to using it, so I grabbed myself a bargain and don't regret a single moment of buying it. If you're starting out wild camping or you're on a budget, I highly recommend that you do search eBay or just pop on the marketplace if you have Facebook. There are so many bargains out there that you are going to be able to get your hands on at a fraction of the cost. The other place that I've also picked up so many bargains from is my local millet store in Chippenham. It's not always the case you're going to find cheaper online. Many times I have gone into millets and just literally found things on there at a much better price than what you can get it on other websites such as Go Outdoors and Blacks. I also highly recommend going into a shop rather than buying online. If you go into a shop, you can literally see the quality of the item you are going to buy, and when it comes to clothing you can always try it on, because as you all know, not all sizes are all the same. So if you buy it online, you've got all that hassle of having to send it back to get your refund or get a replacement, whereas you pop into the shop, you can just try it on and you know there and then it fits, job done, and that's it. You walk out the shop and it's yours. I also recommend that you do your research also, especially if you're buying on eBay. I know you can pick up bargains on eBay, but one of the things I have noticed recently, that people are selling the OEX Bobcat, which is the tent I previously used, for more than what it cost brand new, and it's ridiculous. Millets are selling it, I think they've put the price up to £75 now for the Bobcat, and I've seen people selling it on eBay for around £90, which is ludicrous for a second-hand tent, especially when you can buy it brand new for a fraction of that. Right, I guess I better start getting prepped up for making some food because I'm getting a little bit peckish, so I'll catch you guys in a minute. Right guys, I'm going to try out my other bargain I also purchased off of eBay. Been after a frying pan for a while, and I've been using one of these OEX traditional standard frying pan. It's the only way to describe it really is the fact that it's a cake tin with handles. You know the type if you've used them before, but I've been after a frying pan, and the only ones I can find that vaguely resemble the frying pan was the Cedar Summit at £39.95p, I think they are. So searching through eBay, I came across the Trangia version, which is identical almost to the Cedar Summit. but it only cost me £19.95, I think it was. So that's what I'm using now, and I'm quite chuffed with it. Sad though it might be being just a frying pan. So I'm just frying up some onions at the moment, and then I'm going to be cooking my burgers, which are meat-free. Yes, I am a vegetarian, but there's no chance you'll ever get me becoming a vegan. I like my real cheese too much, and I like my fried egg sandwiches also too much to be a vegan. Also, for the morning, I'm having this. I don't know if you can see that very well. It is meat-free bacon. Yes, I used to eat meat in the past, and many people have asked me why did I stop. And some time ago, I think it was about 5 years ago now, I read this article. It was about a guy who worked in a abattoir, a slaughterhouse, and he literally had to quit his job because of stress. He used to watch the cattle come in and huddle in the corner with fear, as if they knew they were going to die. And the report said that he could even see some of the cattle with tears in their eyes. And it literally put me off my burgers, because I used to love bird's eye beef burgers. But then I've never been a massive meat eater. Basically, burgers, sausages, bacon, chicken and turkey was my basically limit to when it comes to meat. So when I stopped eating meat, I didn't really miss it. And let's be honest with you, most of the meat substitutes now, it is quite difficult to tell the difference between the real thing and the plant-based product. And yes, I did bring a beer. What I brought was that. Basically, it's a German beer from Lidl, and it's basically, it looks like it's trying to represent San Miguel, but it tastes not bad. So that's my choice of beverage for tonight. And I've only brought out one can of beer because I very rarely drink when I come out camping. I just come out here to relax and enjoy the environment. But I will own up, I do have a small hip flask with some brandy in it, because it is getting a bit on the chilly side at the moment. So I might need a little bit of brandy just to warm me up. But at least it's not raining. We do have flood warning hazards around Wiltshire area, but so far so good today. It's stayed dry. My other eBay bargain is this little thing. It is a Cedar Summit foldable spatula. I think I only paid £9 for it. Right, that's my onions and my burgers almost done. It's just a case of putting them into the rolls, whacking the cheese on the top, and putting some Kentucky barbecue sauce on it. And I will show you the results in a minute. And there we are. Meat-free cheeseburgers with fried onions and Kentucky barbecue sauce on. And I'm looking forward to getting tucked into this. So I'll be back with you shortly with a little chat about the future of what I'm going to be up to in 2024. Well, planning to do. Right, I fully enjoyed that. Both burgers totally demolished now. On top of that, with a Mars bar. Beer is open, sat in my boot, because the only thing this tent is missing is a cup holder. Now, to this tent, I am overwhelmed how much room I've got in it. I am so pleased. I know I've said this, but I'm just chuffed to bits about the amount of room I've got in this compared with the OEX. Yes, I loved my Bobcat, still do, and I will use it again at some point, but this is like a mansion compared with that thing. Right, as I said, I'm going to have a chat with you guys about what 2024 holds for me. Well, I hope. One of the dilemmas I've got, I want to go out more, especially when the warmer weather starts coming in. Now I've got back into it, and I want to go further afield rather than staying within a 10-mile radius of home. But the issue I have is, like I said in a previous video, is the fact that my job takes up quite a bit of my time. Basically what it is every other week I will get a day off in the week, and then I'll have a weekend off. whereas the following week I will only have 1 day off a week. Now the problem with this is that it dictates to me when I can go out and my limitation to how far I can go out. And why I say this is simply because on a Friday I can guarantee my shift will end at 9:30 at night. Now the problem with that is I cannot just pick up my bag and just go off on a Friday night to do a couple of nights wild camping, which is what I would like to do, is be able to pack my bag, have it ready and go off a Friday night and a Saturday night. So what it is, I have that dilemma. Do I just go with the flow, stick with the job because I enjoy working with the clients, knowing it's going to basically dictate to me and my life of when I can go out and my limitation to how far I can go? Or do I decide to search for another job that works around what I want to do, giving me my weekends, as in every weekend, to go off camping if I want to? I've already got 2 places in mind that I want to camp in 2024 when it warms up. One is Cheddar Gorge. There is a large wood there that I want to venture into, and there's a place just outside Weston-super-Mare, I think it's called Willoughby. But to do these 2 camps I'm going to need 2 nights to do it in, and my job sadly is going to literally put a stop to that. So I've got to make a decision, and it's not an easy one to make, but I do want a life, and my job basically is starting to take that away from me. Yes, my job as a support worker is very rewarding. The only issue is that when it gets to the stage where it controls your life, it's no longer enjoyable, and you start regretting the decision of doing that type of work. And yes, I could reduce my hours, but I only work 37.5 hours per week at present, and to be honest with you, I cannot afford to reduce my hours, so that option is out of the question. So yeah, maybe I will have to think about changing career for next year so I can just follow the path that I want to follow. My other plans as well for 2024 is getting some better equipment to record on. At the moment I'm just using a Samsung phone, and it does seem to do quite well at present. And along with the phone, I am using a gimbal to get those steady shots. I'm also using a tripod like I am now, and the quality is not too bad. But for next year I am looking at either purchasing a used GoPro 7 or a DJI Action to see which one pans out the best to buy. I have done the research, and it does come up that the DJI Action mini camera is a lot more value for money and more reliable than a GoPro, but I've never used one, and I've only gone by what I've looked at reviews on YouTube. So if any of you guys have used either of those two and you want to add your comments here and what you think which is a better one to go for, I would be really pleased to hear from you about it. And yes, like I said previously in one of my other videos, I still do want to get my hands on the trekking pole tent. So in 2024 I'm going to start building my summer kit and putting it all together ready for when the better weather comes. I still haven't decided whether to buy the Lanshan or the Nightcat, but time will tell. I will just do a little bit more research on both the tents and pick when the time comes. Plus in 2024 my goal also is to improve on my video. I think it's getting a little bit better, but it could be a lot more better than what it is now. So feel free to add some comments on video techniques. I do value advice from people who've been doing it much longer than I have and have more experience. Doing all this videoing and then putting it online, it's all a new thing to me. In the past I never really thought about doing it. It's just go out, do your camping, enjoy it, and that's about it. But by posting these videos, if you're a newbie and you've not done wild camping and you're watching my videos and it's helped you to make a decision to go out and try it out for yourself, then I've achieved the goal in putting these videos online for you to watch. Because simply I just want to share my experience in my wild camping and show you the progress of where I've started from and where I'm heading to. So if you want to follow my channel and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. If you quite like the idea of following my progress as time goes by, click that subscribe button. It's free of charge, it's not going to cost you a penny, is it? But also let me know that people are interested in what I'm doing. It makes it worth doing, really, if you know that there is an audience out there that are really fascinated on the path that I am following. So 2024 is going to be the year in which I decide whether to change my job that's more suitable for me as a wild camper, and also the fact that progressing further to move out more rather than staying local. And yes, I do like camping in the local areas around me or the wooded areas. The only problem is, if any of you have been to Wiltshire, you know it's quite flat. I think the definition of what we would call hills is Westbury White Horse. So when I watch videos that's made by people like Paul Messner, I'm quite envious of him because he's got such beautiful areas around his place and all those hills and all those sights you can see. So keep an eye on my channel and see how far the progression goes. Hopefully 2024 will be a more successful year for me when it comes to wild camping, and I would highly recommend wild camping to anyone. Just give it a go. Well, that's my little chat done for now. I'm just going to have a relaxing 5 minutes, let out, listen to some music, then go out for a wander around the dark woods, and then I'll come back to you later on and have a little update with you. So until then, bye for now. Well, it's definitely getting on the chilly side out there. So I'm now back in my tent, wrapped up nice and warm. It's really quiet out there, really still. I heard a few pheasants chirping away out there and a fox barking earlier. So it's definitely going to be earplugs tonight, because I can guarantee I will be woken up by a fox. The only wood I have not ever heard a fox barking at present was Sally in the woods when I camped in there. I'm seriously going to have to go back to that wood, just try a different spot and see if anything happens, but I don't think it will. I think it's just an old rumour. Right, I guess I best have a little chat about what kit I'm using, and it's not really aimed at you guys with the experience, it's more for the ones who watch this video and they're starting out and do not know what the best options are out there on the market. Before buying this tent, I used the OEX Bobcat for some time, and it's a brilliant tent. It's an ideal backpack tent. It's lightweight, it's small, very compact, and it's incredibly waterproof. It's a 5,000 hydrostatic head on it. I paid £64 for it from Millets, and they still sell it, and like I said, it's at £75 at present. I believe Go Outdoors are asking 110 for the very same tent. So it's an ideal starter tent if you're on a budget, or if you're looking for something small and compact. I would highly recommend the OEX Bobcat 1. Yes, you're limited for space, like I said, hence the reason I've purchased this one now. And the other issue with the Bobcat is that the panel slopes. So on a breezy day, it does flap around in your face. And if you're slightly claustrophobic, it's probably not going to be the tent that you would desire. And myself personally, I would always vote for a tent in which you set the outer skin up first, rather than the ones where you put the inner in and then you have to drape the fly over the top. Because on windy days, they're a bugger to set up, as anyone knows who've done it. With the Wild Country Helm Compact, what I'm using now, on eBay you can pick these up also, I think ranging between £199 and £125. So there are two really good budget tents there, the OEX Bobcat and this one, the Helm Compact. So that's two brilliant tents there as starter tents. That's going to keep you dry, and it's also going to keep you sheltered from strong winds. Regards to backpack, I'm using the OEX Valor 64 litre, and it is good value for money. I paid £80 for it from Millets, and it's got loads and loads of storage in it. Yes, you can buy the Euro Hike. I think Millets do it for £20, what they did. But at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. Hence the reason why I purchased the OEX Valor. It's a budget backpack, but the quality of it for the price is really well made. In regards to sleep mat system, I use the closed cell foam mat, the Concertina version, which basically stops the cold coming up through the floor. In regards to sleep mat, I use a Berghaus self-inflating one, which, if I'm 100% honest, I wouldn't recommend it. Yes, it's compact and doesn't take up much space in your bag, but it's quite thin, so you do not get very much cushioning from it, from all the bumps and lumps in the ground. In regards to sleeping bag, I am wintertime using my trusty old Currymore one. I've had it for years, and it's a 3-season one, and it keeps me nice and warm. That I picked up in store in Millets, I believe, in Chippenham. I did fall into that trap of buying the OEX version of the Jetboil. Looking at all the videos online, and everyone had one, so I thought, I'll get one. But I bought the OEX version. It was half the price to a Jetboil. Now, it's a brilliant piece of kit if you want to boil water, but that's all it's any good for, really, unless you buy an adapter. Because without this £15 adapter, it's only any good for boiling water. You cannot stick your frying pan on the top simply because of the electronic ignition unit that's in there sits quite high. So as soon as you put your frying pan or whatever you're going to stick on the top, it puts the flame out. So now it sits in my cupboard with loads more other bits and pieces gathering dust, because I am just going to stick with the standard little stove that you attach to the gas bottle. Does the job. It's an all-rounder. Basically everything I use is classified as budget, but it's at the standard where I don't really need to change it because it does what I want it to do, and it doesn't let me down, and that is all that matters. You can spend a fortune on kit, but you can go out there, do your search, and find just as good for a fraction of the price. This is why I say check out eBay, check out Marketplace. You can either buy it used or second hand. As long as you're happy with what you're using, you don't have to go out and buy all these high branded pieces of kit. And yes, if I'm completely and utterly honest, if I had the income and I could afford to buy some of these high branded things like Hilleberg tents, I probably would. But I don't have that vast amount of money to go and spend, say, £700 on a tent. So I am happy using budget gear. And no, I do not intend on promoting any pieces of kit. I'm just basically giving you my opinion and maybe sharing a little bit of advice of the right way to go when you want to start out and get into wild camping and you're only on a budget, same as I am. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will give you a serious and honest answer to them. Right, I guess that's it for tonight. It's getting a bit late now, so I'm going to curl up in my sleeping bag, put my earbuds in, listen to a bit more music, and then I'm going to go to sleep. And I will speak to you guys in the morning. So thank you for watching so far, and good night for now. Good morning, guys. It is now 7:15, and that's another successful wild night's camp. I was woken up with nature's alarm clock. It started off with the routine barking of a fox. Even with my earplugs in, I could hear him
quite loudly. You couldn't have been too far away from me. This then followed by rooks and crows chirping away in the trees, followed by blackbirds, which is one of the reasons why I love doing wild camping. You don't get to hear all these amazing sounds around you when you're tucked up in your nice cozy bed in your home. This is why I highly recommend wild camping to anyone. Even just try it once. You don't know what you're missing, guys, if you've never done it. So I guess it's time to make that early morning wake up coffee, get myself motivated, relax here for a little while because there's no rush, because I'm not going to be disturbed by anyone. Chance of getting any dog walkers around here is very, very slim because I'm basically in the middle of nowhere. And then start thinking about packing up. Plus I got my meat-free bacon that I'm going to cook up shortly, put in some rolls. So I'll catch you guys shortly. There you go, guys. This is one of the reasons why I love camping in the woods. All this mist. It's so peaceful. And if you've never done wild camping before, you don't know what you're missing. There you go, guys. Before I start packing up my meat-free bacon on the cook, and I would highly recommend you try it. I bet you won't be able to taste the difference between this and real bacon. Also, with the meat-free bacon, you don't get that greasy residue you get on your fingers, nor do you get those stringy, horrible fatty bits. So give it a go. You either like it or you don't like it, but I would highly recommend it. I guess it's that time now. I better start packing up and making my way home. So leave no trace as usual, and make sure that I leave no rubbish behind and no evidence that I've even been here. There you go, guys, all packed up and no trace of where I've been. Just a tiny little bit of a flat spot, nothing more. All rubbish packed away and all ready to go home. As you can see, it's still rather misty. All nice and quiet. This is why I love woodland camping. It is such a peaceful thing to do, and it's really nice when you wake up to a nice misty morning like this. Well, that's it for another successful wild night camping. So it's now the journey home and across this boggy field that I've got to get into once I'm out the wood. Right, guys, this is the boggy field that I have to make my way across without getting soaking wet feet again. So somewhere over there in the distance, I think you can just see the hedge line, is the gate I have to clamber over. So I guess that's it for today. All I can say now is thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video,
Would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, so that way you can keep an eye on what I'm up to, and it also lets me know that you've enjoyed watching my videos and you want to see more. If you want to leave any comments regards to last night's camp, feel free to do so. I would really look forward to hearing what you have to say. So till my next video, I wish you a very Merry Christmas and hope the new year brings you everything you wish for, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now, guys.
Woodland.